Welcome back to the Mini Expanse. My name's Kieran, and today we're continuing the search for cheap miniature games with a game that I've got for playing with my daughter and my son when he grows up and can actually read, etc. Called Stuffed Fables. Now, this is an adventure kind of story-based game that gets played out in the rulebook, basically. But with miniatures representing these stuffed animals who are all trying to protect a little girl from the King of Nightmares. So, kind of family orientated game to play with kids, but a few pretty cool minis in it. And I just wanted to show off that I managed to get this on eBay, basically, from someone who had basically finished it. And now I'm going to pick it up and play it with my kids. Instead of having to go and buy a brand new game, you can always get them off people who are trying to make some rooms for new games in their collection. So let's have a look at what's in it and see if it's something that you would want to pick up for yourself. So on coming into the box, we've got the main book, and I will show you that in a minute. Big hefty book full of adventures to play through. And there is an expansion for this game as well. It continues on the stories, gets you a few extra minis. But small rule book. This would be for the parents. Basically, sit down, read this, learn it, and then teach your kids. Pretty much seems to explain everything. I've had a brief read through and look through all of this already, just to make sure that everything was here when it arrived, and gave these good little scrub before I get them painted up, and we take them off on a trip we're going to have in the next week or two, and this will be something we'll be playing while we're away. So go into the minis in a minute. We have big wad full of cards. Some of these are story based, some of them are the minions that you face, dark hearts, mongrels. I will be probably sticking as much as I can to the artwork for these ones, more so that when my kids are looking at them they can recognize that's the miniature that goes with that card. And some of the items that you can find though: ranged weapons of rubber bands, wooden spoon, kitchen knives, sewing kits is a healing item for the stuffed animals, funnily enough. Dog biscuits to distract the mongrels, magic markers to change colours of dice, scissors, jump ropes. And yeah, clothing is armour in the game. A bucket over your head is a helmet. Lots of little nice inventive little things as you go through. And my daughter's getting into Toy Story and that just now, so this is going to fit pretty well with everything that she likes. And I'm a big proponent that playing games like this with your kids helps them with their reading, their maths, rolling dice, adding numbers, and they don't really realise that they're learning stuff. Always good. Story deck, I've had to reorganise it. I've tried not to look at it too much. I like the story reveals too, and that's going to stay like that until we need it. Bag full of tokens, hearts, little bits of stuffing, things that you can find and speak to in the game. There's a token here that I think goes down on the game board at some point, and a bookmark for keeping your place in the game. Now, get in under this bag full of dice, and it's in the wash at the moment, but there was a felt bag that this all goes into as well, that you draw your dice out of during the game. And let's get the bigger cards out the way. So we've got our characters. We've got Lumpy the elephant, Flops the archer rabbit, Piggle, Stitch, Lionel, and Theodora. Again, these I'm going to paint up according to this character art. It looks great. I like the colours, and yeah, it'll just lend it a lot better to my daughter being able to recognize which mini goes with which card. Another little deck of status cards by the looks of it. Bag full of buttons, which I think are currency in the game. I might be wrong about that. Still have to read through all the rules properly, but if that's the case and I need more, my wife's got a massive box full of buttons and everything for sewing, so not going to be in short supply there. And now my favourite bit, the minis. So, bad guys, got this guy with a big cleaver. I'm assuming his character card is in here somewhere because it wasn't in here. And yeah, he's going to be interesting. Mongrels, we've got a few of these. Kind of a steampunk robotic nightmare dog. We've got the Dark Hearts, which if you can see that, there is actually a hole in the middle. So paint some stuff in there, get some colour on them. Now you get copies of each of the minis, but if I can pull, yeah, what you may notice is that the ones that are repeated have different shaped bases. So you don't have to keep a track of, you know, this one's A, this one's B, this one's C, or anything like that. Your kids can just keep a track of the shape of the base, and again, teaching them shapes as well, and how many sides there are, etc. So that one's pentagonal bases. For those of you who ever had nightmares after the creatures in Toy Story, little spiders with baby doll heads on them. We've got one of the bosses, who looks like he'll be a lot of fun to paint up. There's a girl in this. I don't know if this is the girl we're supposed to be protecting or some kind of, I don't know, possessed ghost type thing, but we'll find out. I'll have to search out her character card as well. Big robot with 4 arms. And who I can only assume is the big bad guy, the King of Nightmares. Now he is definitely going to be fun. Going to have a lot of fun with the cloth on this one. And, oh, need to watch out for these mold lines that's on here though. Most of them haven't been bad for mold lines, but that is a cracker just in there. But won't take too long to clean that up. And after that, we then have our heroes. Yeah, oh, that's a copy. Didn't notice that before. There we go. Oh, come back. There we go. So, we have Flops the Archer Rabbit, Theodora with her sword, probably a letter opener or a kitchen knife or something. Lumpy the Elephant with his meat tenderizer mallet. Oh, let's see. Here we go. Stitch with his pointy pencil. Piggle, and from the artwork, if I remember right, this is the lid off the Play-Doh and the baby's rattle, called his Battle Rattle. I like it. Lionel the Lion, and a broken copy of Piggle. Always kept for spares. I'll find something for him. So that is pretty much everything in the main box, but what I'll do is I'll clean all this up and we'll have a look through the rulebook in a second. Be right back. So this is the main book. So all your missions, sorry, it's not going to be missions, is it? It's going to be fables, quests and stories. So they all play through this book. Now I'm not going to go too far into it. I want to avoid spoilers, but maybe the first couple of stories in it will be enough to give you a flavour as to how this game plays. But you can see got your main characters on here, and very, very nice artwork for it. And once you get into the start of it, if that's not too shiny, let's just tip that a little bit there. So you can see the stuffed animals are all sitting around the little girl in her bed, and you've got this story. So I've read this story out to my daughter already to kind of show her what this game's about. She loves it. She can't wait to play it. So I've got a deadline to get these models painted up. They are going to be the first thing on my painting table once this recording's finished. And you take it from there. So each of them have these little fables as well, by the looks of it, read by Stitch. So it's kind of a moral to the story. This one is about a little caterpillar that is happy where he is, doesn't want to change, doesn't want to do anything new, and misses out on a lot, which I think there's a lot of adults could do with that lesson as well. I know I did. And then we go into the first game. So on this side you've got, I'll just move that over a bit, you've got the actual game board itself drawn out into this grid. Get the bed, locker, toy chest, and a few things marked down as well. Then on this side you've got the story, divided into a couple of different sections. You play through until you get to a certain point and keep referring back to this and reading out the story. And then notes on the side just explaining how things work, a couple of QR codes for the rules, etc. So you can either refer to a page in the rulebook or scan the QR code. And then you move on. This bit I think is supposed to be the world that is under the bed from all the forgotten toys and that. And then another one. Now I've not really read into this side of things for this one, but totally different thing. You're not playing on a game board, you're playing on this track with your characters. And again, you've got some things that are looking similar, some that look totally different. Rivers, artwork, and guessing this is a new story. More of the fables. So yeah, this looks like it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of time to sit down, play with the kids, get a game in myself, and yeah, try and drag a few more geeks into this hobby. So if this is something that you'd think about picking up, it's by Plaid Hat Games. Nearly dropped that. So yeah, Plaid Hat Games. This looks really good. I'm pretty sure this is going to go down well, and I'm going to be picking up the expansion fairly soon to get it all ready to go once this is finished. And yeah, if this is something that you've got yourself, if you have any suggestions on how to play it, then by all means let me know. Send me a message in the comments down below, and if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, give me a sub, and I'll see you in the next one.